Procedures must be followed to prevent accidents. If you work in an office, a mistake can mean an inconvenience. Not following procedures could create an inefficient operation. But in a refinery, the consequences are much greater. Not following procedures puts you and others at risk. Lockout, tagout, tryout is the method used to protect you and your co-workers by isolating the equipment you're working on from chemical and energy hazards, and to make sure that it can't start while you're working on it. In a very basic sense, lockout, tagout, tryout is simply putting a lock and a tag on a control device so the equipment can't be started. But it's also the discipline of following specific written procedures so that no accidental release of energy can occur.
I have a bad outboard bearing in G31B, so I'm going to go out there and isolate it, take it out of service.
All right, make it safe for them.
There is a full procedure to follow assuring us of a safe operation. It has several steps, but it's simple. It's written down in case you're not sure. The basic steps are: prepare to shut down by sizing up the unit and communicating with your co-workers. Shut down equipment. Isolate the equipment from the chemical hazards associated with the process.
Lock and tag all switches and controls so the equipment can't be restarted.
And try it to make sure it's locked out. Finally, drain and clean equipment.
Lockout, tagout, tryout procedure is followed anytime you open a piece of equipment, bypass a machine guard, or if you're going to be putting any part of your body into an area where there is the potential for contact with energy or a hazardous material. The department that controls the equipment is responsible for its lockout. Written procedures are used.
They can be specific to a particular compressor, vessel, or tank, or generic for most of the pumps or electric motors in the refinery. There are several devices used for lockout. If you see a lock or tag, do not attempt to start, energize, use, or return to service that equipment. Only approved lockout devices will be used, and they may not be used for any other purpose than lockout. Standardized tags are used with the lockout devices throughout the refinery, and they will not be used for any other purpose than the isolation of equipment for work. Locks are color-coded to indicate whose lock it is. Operations locks are blue. Maintenance locks, except for electricians' locks, are black. Electricians' locks are red. New construction project locks are yellow. And health, safety, and emergency locks are green. For controlling multiple energy sources, there will be lock boxes kept in the control room containing a specific number of locks. One key will fit all the locks inside the box. There will be a separate lock that will lock the box. It will have its own key. If this box is in the control room, the key will be kept in the in box. If the box is being used in the field, the key will be in the out box. Since most of the equipment in the refinery is under the control of the operating division, we will look at the lockout procedure from their point of view. Following the written lockout procedure for the equipment, the operator in charge will locate and identify all sources of energy and hazardous materials for the equipment being locked out, and determine how many locks and tags will be needed.
I have a bad outboard bearing in G31B, so I'm going to go out there and isolate it, take it out of service.
Inform everyone who needs to know that equipment lockout is being undertaken. Get a key from the inbox for a job site lockbox with enough key-to-like locks and tags to lock and tag each source of energy or hazardous material. Shut down the equipment following the written procedure. Isolate the equipment by closing valves and de-energizing the equipment. Install the locks, locking devices, and tags. Confirm that the equipment is isolated by checking pressure gauges, opening bleeds, and pushing the start switch. Depressure, drain, and clean equipment. Put the key for the key-to-like locks in the job site lockbox, and put the lockbox lock on the multiple locking device.
This is the first lock put on and the last removed. Write in the equipment number being worked on a grease pencil on the lockbox and attach the lockbox to the job site. Put the key in the outbox in the control room and then log the equipment being locked out on a list maintained for that purpose.
G31B pump, circuit number 16, and it's racked out.
When the maintenance craftspersons arrive to sign on the job order, the operator will take them to the job site and review the procedure with them, showing them how the energy or hazardous materials have been locked and tagged out. The operator will try to restart the equipment to demonstrate that it has been successfully locked out. Each group of craftspersons will have one authorized person who will put a personal lock on the job site lockbox. If more than one group is involved, there will be a personal lock for each group. This assures that the control device cannot be activated until everyone working on the equipment is finished with their part of it and the completed job is accepted by the operator in charge. As each group finishes their part of the job, they will remove their lock from the job site lockbox. When the job is finished, the work area cleaned up, and the equipment ready to be put back into service, the operator's lock will be the only one left on the job site lockbox. When the pump has been repaired, the machinist will bring it back to install it. The pipe fitter will return to remove the blanks and connect the piping. And the electrician will reconnect the wiring. They will sign on their job orders, lock and tag the job lockbox, and when their work is finished, they will sign off their job orders and remove their locks and tags.
All done, Tim? Yeah, I'll be messed up.
Finally, the operator's lock will be the only one left on the job lockbox again. The operator will then make sure everyone is out of harm's way. Open the job site lockbox, remove the key, and open all key-to-like locks. Reconnect the equipment to its energy source and restart it.
There are some exceptions to the lockout, tagout, tryout procedures.
Sometimes it is necessary to temporarily remove locks in order to test or reposition locked-out equipment. When that needs to be done, the operator will make sure that the equipment is able to be restarted and that no one is in the way. The operator will remove whatever lockout devices are necessary, test or restart the equipment, then de-energize the equipment and do whatever else is needed to return it to a safe condition to be worked on again. Some routine tool changes or adjustments that don't require job orders don't require lockout. Work on equipment that has a cord or plugs into an electrical receptacle doesn't require lockout. Just unplug the equipment. Hot tap operations where shutdown is impractical or continued operation is essential don't require lockout when proper industry procedures are followed. Work on energized electrical circuits can be done with the consent of the maintenance superintendent by qualified electricians using approved methods and safety equipment. Lockout-tagout procedures are waived when a unit is in turnaround and boundary blanks are in place, and the entire system has been depressurized and cleaned.
In a situation where these lockout procedures cannot be used, a tagout procedure without locks will have to be authorized. Specific written instructions will be kept in the control room. When these lockout, tagout, tryout procedures are respected and followed, work on equipment can be done safely. See your supervisor for your specific role in lockout, tagout, tryout. And now a review of some important points of lockout, tagout, tryout. All employees should recognize the various types of lockout devices used to de-energize and isolate equipment. Locks are color-coded to show what department they belong to. Operations locks are blue,
Maintenance locks are black except for electrician's locks, which are red. Health and safety's locks are green, and new construction locks are yellow. When equipment is to be worked on, the operator will inform all who need to know, get locks and locking devices, shut down the equipment, isolate the equipment from energy and hazardous materials, lock and tag all sources of energy and control devices, try to restart the equipment, depressurize and clean the equipment, lock the key in the job site lockbox, noting the equipment that the box is locking out, and put the key in the control room and log the lockout tagout. The operator will orient all workers and demonstrate that the site is locked out. Each worker will put his or her own lock on the job site lockbox, guaranteeing that the equipment cannot be restarted as long as that worker is on the job. If you have any other questions about lockout, tagout, tryout, see your supervisor.